Did you hear that?
I did. It sounded like a knockoff, though. This bootleg version. This is
maybe it's all we can afford around
not
here.
The Beastie Boys, that's for sure.
It's the Boosty Boys. That's right. It's time once again for everybody to climb aboard the TPO train.
Light a fatty for these fat daddies?
We'll go with it, I
I
guess.
tried.
Speaking of fat daddies, it's Crass. What's going on, my man?
You know, same old, just basking in the fame and fortune now that I have a following.
Big following. I'm glad to see things are going well over there at the Trollity Podcast.
Yep.
Available
Don't
right
need
there
you
on
anymore.
the YouTube. No, he's leaving right now.
Wait a minute, what's this about Kyle Busch? Oh, okay. All right. Looks like Kyle Busch. Sweet. So we got some eye candy to look forward to. I'm a little sad, Mikey.
Slightly sad.
A little bit.
Go on.
It's my last day.
It's a safe place. Hey, maybe while I'm in Florida, Creed will ask you to come on and do a show with them.
Oh, that could be fun. I was thinking last night as I sat here with Matt and I mentioned, I was hanging out with my buddy Mikey 12 times and he started to get upset. We should swap at some point.
Oh, let Creed go work with Matt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I work with Creed and you work with Matt. There's lots of options for swapping.
Just know whichever show I'm on, that's the winner.
I like your confidence. Misplaced, but it's admirable.
I do what I can. Speaking of misplaced, Creed will be back tomorrow. I'm guessing for court.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll see.
Has he been winning? Do we know?
He could be dead right now, for all I know. I heard nothing from him from the time he. I think he said said he had just got there, and that was last I heard of him.
Has he gone live at all?
No. So I'm hoping he hasn't been taken out by banditos or anything like that.
Wonder if he knows where Mayor's underwear is.
Well, I hope it's not with Creed.
He already sold it for more gambling money.
Yeah, he's sold it. Gambling. He might come back until he hit like a huge jackpot, or he might just never come back because he got rich.
Big enough jackpot, he might not come back.
He left us and his wife. Tulips. Oh, precious
sweetie. That's what Mikey called me in LA.
Oh, it was actually the other way around. It was Sweetie Precious, but that's all right. Mix it up however you want. Speaking of mixing things up, why is there nobody here right now? There is like 18 people here.
Are we sure that's not accurate? Maybe it hasn't caught up.
I don't know, but
Mikey
it's very Eminem show. Yeah, it says there's 18 people here. It says there's nobody on the main channel.
Interesting. Hang on, I'm investigating. There's 73 in the main channel.
Yeah, this says there's nobody on the main channel.
And 15, it looks like, in the case channel.
That's so weird. It's not registering them up here today. Okay, well, that's good. I was waiting for people to show up, but I guess there's folks here. I know Kenneth Brown is here. That's all that matters. I said, is Kenneth Brown here? And I'm like, yeah.
Injury attorney, Kenneth Brown.
Oh, injury attorney, Kenneth Brown. If you get sideways, call Kenneth Brown. Speaking of calling
Brown
attorneys,
do for you.
That's right. Speaking of attorneys, we're back here again.
All right, next will be
one more time.
Judge
Hannah Jakian versus Cynthia Drury.
The jury is out.
All right, and that's number 23-220. And Ms. Bajak. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Bajak
is she trying to roll up on her chair behind her attorney?
Drury is here on behalf of Ms. Drury.
Oh, I do remember him.
Oh, yeah, he's a good guy. Remember, he had people that were the really a-holes that were digging trenches.
Preliminary
that was the easement.
Yeah,
I found that property, by the way.
Exhibit numbers. didn't see any exhibit numbers assigned to the evidence that I submitted, and I was wondering if I'd be able to just refer to the evidence.
As long as you can sort of.
I'm gonna say this right now. I think that lady's causing all kinds of trouble. That loud, boisterous voice, her intimidating stature.
She doesn't come across like the type to make a scene.
I like that the other person, though, is kind of hiding in the shadows back there, going to make a grand entrance, perhaps. I don't know.
Maybe by her request. She's not feeling camera ready. She's not ready for her close-up.
Didn't he say her last name was Jury?
That's what I thought.
Is that his last name, too? The attorney?
Oh, I wonder. I didn't catch that. I definitely thought the client's name was Jury.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were saying jury.
Ooh. Okay, let's hear more about
Can you
this.
represent family?
Focus it in for me. Usually numbers are the easiest way to do that, but if there's page numbers,
half price.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Family.
All right. Any preliminary matters, Mr. Jury?
I think it was the Wolves.
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right,
then.
I've had a troop of leaf blowers walking by my office, so if it gets pretty bad, I may mute myself or mute it so that it didn't.
Is that a racial slur?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
All those leaf blowers coming across the border.
A bunch of leaf blowers in the yard.
Good. Yeah, I know what that's like. All right, let me then have the parties raise their right hands.
Judges racist too.
Each of you swear the testimony
allegedly
that you give in the case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I'll do my best.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Bajakian, again, you're the petitioner in this case. That means that you have the burden of proof and you get to go first. So go right ahead.
So her name's Miss Pajankian.
Your Honor, the past 40 days since I received the temporary protection order have been the only stretch of time while living in my home on Campus Park Drive that I have not been subjected to the verbal and physical harassment of Miss Drury. Since my first encounter with Miss
Drury, that is her
I've been
name.
nothing but
Miss
civil
Drury.
and neighbor-
They've got to be related, right? How many people could be in this town with the same last name?
Awful are there? Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotta be. They're related.
I knew she sounded familiar.
Related. I wonder if it's like his aunt or his grandma or something, or even his mother, maybe. I don't know.
Side piece? Oh, well, I guess they wouldn't have the same name.
Well,
maybe.
Depends on what kind of family it is.
Sure.
I was met with more and more insults and intimidation tactics by the respondent as outlined in the provided evidence. Coming to court to request a formal protection order was not the first step to try and achieve peace and mediation. Prior to the events of July 14th, I have tried speaking with Drury and her mother, provided her with proper documentation and spoke with her in a neighbor group setting, as well as worked with county resources via the assessor and auditor's office to provide further clarity and resources to the respondent. I am seeking a protection order against Cynthia Drury to avoid further escalation of her continued harassment and threats towards me since moving into my residence. Since moving into my home, interactions with Ms. Drury have escalated from calm and civil conversation to the events of July 14th, where Drury repeatedly hit my vehicle with Pitchfork while I was in it and attempted to forcibly enter my vehicle several times, as shown in the submitted video evidence.
Okay, so typically we don't hear a lot of pitchfork attacks, especially pitchfork attacks on a car, then trying to enter the vehicle. What is this, Miss Drury? Does she own a farm? Is she baling hay? Why in the hell does she have a pitchfork at this moment?
Well,
that's the question.
Isn't this also the second case this week that we've had somebody attacked with yard equipment? Wasn't there a rake?
Yeah, we had a rake attack.
I suggested somebody grab a hoe, but
well, that was subjective. But yeah, a pitchfork. You know what a pitchfork is, right? I mean, I don't know if you grew up in the city. I didn't know.
You muck stalls with it and all that fun stuff, right?
Mucking stalls, yes.
You know what that is? You know what mucking stalls are.
Come on, man. I'm a stall mucker from way back.
I'm a mother mucker.
Big old mother mucker.
There is not enough damage to my vehicle to warrant an arrest or fine for vandalism. The events of 14 July have left me in fear for my life
July.
and safety in my own home.
She switched it up.
She's from another
Yuri's
country.
violent outbursts are particularly concerning due to their unpredictability and the only constant variable in her harassment being that she only approaches me and speaks to me when my fiance is not home.
Sexual tension, maybe?
Smiley
mama. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's well. If you're just, you missed yesterday's shows, you are forgiven. Today we just ended up with a bunch of like low level flooding and some wind. Nothing crazy. So we're doing good. Lights even stayed on. So
but no like flooding at your house, just in
no,
right?
Just like some areas are underwater because we got like 8 to 9 inches of rain or something.
Bragging.
I wanted 10.
Hung like a flood up there.
The definitions of stalking and harassment outlined in attachment A of the petition for protection order applies to the evidence submitted regarding the events of July 14th and Ms. Drury's actions against me and are the reason I'm here before you today. In addition, the Federal Violence Against Women Act protects against stalking regardless of whether the restrained person is in a domestic relationship with a protected person. According to the Violence Against Women Act, stalking is defined as engaging in a course of conduct at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to fear for his or her safety or the safety of others or suffer substantial emotional distress. Your Honor, I believe that I am a reasonable person.
Do you think she's reading this?
No, this is totally off the dome.
I thought so too. Real quick, how was there no damage to her car in a pitchfork attack? She said there wasn't enough damage for her to get arrested.
Does Ms. Drury look like she can swing a pitchfork with any force?
It's like a threat. You're coming at somebody with a weapon.
That's a good point.
She was inside the car while she was trying to hit it. She tried to get into the car. How did we dodge those charges? I thought so.
Well, she's a Drury.
That name carries a lot of weight.
Bothell juries. Drury Inn, maybe they own the Drury Inn. I've stayed at a couple of those. Nice.
Or a couple of jury stores.
And the events of July 14th have caused me to suffer substantial emotional distress to the extent of having to install security cameras around my home.
I think she needs a lap to cry on.
The nature of my fiance's work, he is gone for extended periods of time. Over the last month, he was gone for 28 days, and I did not feel safe staying in my home, even with the protection order.
She needs a man around the house.
I got you, boo.
28 days. She also installed a lot of anti-pitchfork devices on her car, which is a smart move, I feel like.
And I felt the need to go and visit my family. I didn't even stay in my own home.
I don't think she's her dad.
Weeks out of fear for retaliation from Ms. Drury.
That really old lady sitting next to the attorney? No. Unless maybe she's one of those Benjamin Button people. Then maybe.
Yeah. After reading Ms. Drury and her mother, Ms. Wilson's testimonies,
her mother's alive?
They include several claims against my fiance. I ask that these claims not be referenced in regards to this case, as the protection order is for me and not.
Oh,
what the hell is going on here?
Okay, so the lady sitting there and her mother wrote, like depositions or whatever you want to call it for the case.
Okay.
And made claims about her husband in those. And she asked that
Kitchen Court Chat's husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she asked that those not be included in this, since the TPO isn't anything to do with him. It's just for her.
So they're not saying that she and her mom have filed TPOs against her husband.
No, but apparently she's got
addendums to this case.
Yeah, some pretty bad stuff was said about the husband. I wonder
what the husband's been up to.
I don't know. He's gone for 28 days at a time.
Are these neighbors? They're neighbors.
Yeah,
right?
they're neighbors.
They gotta be close.
Yeah, they gotta be really close. But this girl seems really chill. I don't know why we would be attacking her. I like her partner hair and everything.
For him, it has nothing to do with him. Jury claims in her declaration that she does not own a pitchfork and that it is her mother's, but in her supplemental exhibits declaration on page 17
Take
out
the
of
serial
15,
number.
you can see the spading fork. I assume that her denying the pitchfork was just a vocabulary misconception. But she denied that she owned one, and yet
she
she
can't read.
And
She say a speeding fork? What's a
That's
speeding
what it sounded
fork?
like.
Anybody know what a speeding fork is?
It's usually what I'm using to eat.
her supplemental exhibits to declaration. And in the letter from Valerie Burke that I submitted, she also claims to have seen the pitchfork, or I guess in Miss Jury's verbiage, the spading fork. Additionally, on page 8 of her supplemental exhibits to declaration, she claims that you can see Miss Wilson standing behind her Honda van, so she did not back into
Miss Wilson's
my car.
the mom, right?
That photo was taken after the police instructed me to pull my vehicle forward and away from Drury and Wilson. So I would just like to stand by the fact that she did back her vehicle into my car while I was in it, as I was waiting for the police to arrive.
Jeez.
I understand that Miss Drury would like to make this into a parking issue. That is not why I'm here. In my opinion, that is something that the HOA needs to handle. I am asking for legal protection against this woman so she can no longer threaten me and my livelihood.
No. It's a mini pitchfork, maybe? Technically, it's a speeding fork.
That's all for now, Your Honor.
That's all for now.
All right, Mr. Drury, Ms. Drury's response.
Your Honor, am I examining the petitioner or directing the respondent?
You're the attorney.
Right.
I don't think there's any need to cross-examine the petitioner, so if you could just.
Sure.
Spading fork. What the hell is
Ms.
that?
Drury, did something happen on July 13th of this year that you feel is relevant to this case?
Nope.
Yes.
That's all.
So on that week, I attended a HOA meeting. I had attended a couple. That was the second one. The
anyone that says they attend HOA meetings, troublemaker.
So
busy.
I've got an update.
Oh, we got that spading fork for me.
We are not getting comments from the main channel. The show's up. It's on.
Everybody's watching it.
150 people in there, but the comments from there are not coming through.
Okay. So is there like somebody spent like $500 over there that I missed, hopefully, or something like that? Maybe.
We got $2 from Flusha.
Oh, Flusha, thank you. Hallelujah.
Let's throw how many prongs on the pitchfork?
I have no idea why it's not coming through, guys. No clue.
I knew that us calling her Southern KCC would definitely get a response, and they're there. We just haven't seen them.
Wow. Thank you, Flusha.
Do you want me to just read the chat as we go?
Can you do a Flusha impersonation, or are we gonna go? Is gonna do some character work? Melissa, good to see you. You're late, but that's all right because you can always rewind and start again. I hate that we can't see the comments from over there, guys. I have no idea. It's a StreamYard thing, and it's not a Mikey thing.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I'll keep monitoring.
Thank you. All right, let's see what old Mitch's HOA over here has to say.
Petitioner and her and Eston Smith.
Tiny Piggy with a super sticker.
Thank you, Tiny Piggy.
Imagine it's right here below me.
What'd you just say?
I said below me.
Okay.
We're storing a vehicle on my property, a white Tundra truck in the parking space. And there is a HOA rule against storing vehicles more than 7 days. And so the HOA apparently contacted them, or maybe the landlord, I don't know. But that evening on our video camera, the Tundra was driven away. And
Okay.
I don't know what's that.
All right. And that was the day before this election.
That was the day before the incident.
How long had this vehicle, and is this vehicle associated with the petitioner?
Well, from what the petitioner, Ashton Smith told us, the petitioner's fiance, is that it belonged to his roommate that's in the military and was out of town, deployed. And so he was.
Okay, so the car does belong to a military service person. So that would make sense why it hasn't moved. It stayed all this time. And she's actually going to complain that someone that is serving our country, their car is there in the way. How dare she? We the people. Melissa has requested, by the way, Sweet Melissa. I've got to find this song. I'm not familiar with it. Do you know
what
the tune? Sweet
There's
Melissa?
a great version done by Warren Haynes and Dave Matthews Band from Piedmont Park in Atlanta. Sweet Melissa.
Oh, see, that's it? Sweet Melissa.
It's pretty much Sweet Melissa.
Sweet Melissa.
Ooh. Damn, Satan. Anna, thank you for the 2 bones, Sweet Melissa. How dare she? How unpatriotic is this lady? Allegedly.
That he was a roommate.
All right. And how long had that vehicle been parked out front?
They had parked that vehicle there for, at that time it was.
I don't see it, but I believe it.
I'll take it from Billy. He's telling the truth. He's
Billy
way more honest than
a
this
real
lady.
one. Yes. And while we're paused.
Can't wait to the weekend, baby.
It's nice to have our people back now.
I know.
It's so quiet over here.
So weird. I was looking at this. I was like, man, I almost cut the stream off.
I mean, this is like 12 times
like,
what we get, but
it's like there's nobody here. Let's go. Let's roll. Let's get out of here.
Close to 2 months.
Had you asked them to move it at all?
We'd asked it several times. We asked them to move the vehicle.
And is that your private property there?
That is our private property.
Okay. And what was the response to asking them to move that vehicle?
The response was that this is public property.
Okay.
And they were going to park there.
Okay.
You know,
now the day of
isn't the street public property? I mean, isn't that true?
I would imagine.
Unless you only parked there 2
up on
months.
our curb, but even the curb is like there's space between the curb and the property line.
Yeah, I don't know. $1,000.
I didn't see it, but
well, I want to see that. I need receipt. Where I live, people park their cars. Those cars can be there for years at a time, let alone 2 months. Thank you for the fake stars. 2 months. That's she's nitpicking now.
Yeah, I mean, but then in your neighborhood, they have to be on blocks. So
True.
Are these on blocks, Miss Drury?
Of this incident, prior to seeing the petitioner, did you have a like a farm fork or a spading fork in your hand?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Prior to seeing the petitioner on the 14th, the next day, did you have any tools in your hand?
Yeah, so I've been out there at least three times with the spading fork. It has very stiff spines. And I was trying to locate the property markers way back on like May 11th or something like that. I was trying to locate it, so I dug a little ditch along the property line to try and find it. I went down 2 or 3 inches. It was really hard. Glacial till, and I couldn't get down. I couldn't find the marker, so I thought, well, maybe it's not there.
Okay. But was that fork was the reason you had that tool to do anything other than dig?
No, that's what it's a garden tool.
Okay.
Now, I have gotten the details. A spading fork has 4 tines that are much heavier than those of a pitchfork. So it's like a heavy duty pitchfork.
Is it one of those ones like you can use to dig in the ground?
I think so.
I mean, that's what it
she's
seems
saying
like
she's using it for.
Like it's in her hand and she's like digging away like a dog out there.
Look, I'm not one of these country folk. I don't know. I just know about mucking stalls, dude.
She's digging ditches, looking for property lines. She's busybody in it.
Would you say she's a Karen?
Yeah, definitely not a pitchfork. I've worked with a pitchfork before. I know the ways around a pitchfork. This lady is using some little, tiny thing coming in here. I will say shame on that lady for calling it a pitchfork, by the way.
How dare you?
I mean, it's way more exciting to hear somebody's like, yeah. And she's like, cha.
Where in the arrangement on the table does the pitchfork go? Is that next to the salad fork or is that near your soup spoon?
Through your enemies.
Now, can you just briefly walk me through what happened when the petitioner arrived that day?
So on the 14th, I was on the opposite corner of my property, digging with the
Crash broke the chat. Too many people over there.
Sat on it.
Wow, I wasn't going to go there, but okay. Thank you, KCC Paisley.
I think she made some money and she's not so angry anymore.
Paisley Pop. Oh, yeah. Getting rich is always calms you down.
It does
baiting
help.
fork, trying to locate the other property boundary because her car had always been parked over the other property boundary. And so I was able to locate that. And I was digging it out so I could plant an above ground wood stake so that they could see where the property boundary was.
Okay.
And then
okay, so she's trying to say they parked in front of her house.
Yes, and she wants to erect a stake to show them where the property line is.
She should put a gazebo there. I mean, if we learned anything
that on your
yesterday,
deck.
gazebos really get some attention, really catch his eyes.
What do we
That's
call
just
them?
me.
The K word?
Kay's real name is Karen.
she pulled in
The shoe fits.
at that
Kayfabe.
side of the alley and drove past me. And so I turned around and watched her. And she pulled into the free space in front of the area where she eventually backed. And so I thought, oh, good, she's going to park there. And then she started backing up. And so when she started backing up and running over the cone that was in the video, then I ran over to her vehicle because I did not want
She
her
had a cone
backing
there.
into the area. I
She's
was
one of
gonna
these
go over
put my
there and
chair
dig
in the
up that
street to
property
save my spot
boundary
Uh-huh.
next.
people.
And so I ran over there with the pitchfork, not thinking anything of it,
How's she called?
and stood behind her car so she could not continue to back onto her property. So I stood there for 6 minutes while I told her, this
She ran a stopwatch. Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay, well, here's the thing. This lady has too much free time. Way too much free time. I don't know if she has a husband or a boyfriend. Sounds like she might live with her mom, but she needs a man or a woman, whatever floats her boat.
We still don't know that Mr. Drury is not her husband.
True. But maybe
I think we can assume, but we don't know.
No, probably not. Allegedly. She needs a man. Put down the pitchfork and grab a man. You want a tool in your hand? Get a real one.
is private property. Please, get off the property. You can drive away. You can go park on your driveway. It's empty. You can pull ahead and park in the free empty spot or go around the corner. She did not want to do any of those. I asked her to get out and look at the property markers. I have them exposed now. She could see them.
She's exposing her markers.
She's exposing her markers to this woman now. Great. Again, we're being very petty.
Yeah.
Just really, really petty.
Not want to do that.
Did you ever rap on her vehicle with the fork?
I said a what?
No.
Wiki,
Did you ever
what?
point
I'm really not a rapper.
this tool at her at all, or use it in an aggressive manner towards her?
No, I never used it in an aggressive manner. I never even thought about it this whole time. I mean, I just, even until I walked away, until the cop recovered, I never even.
Till the what recovered? Can we back that up? Till what recovered?
I thought she
talking
said
about that
copper.
dude yesterday.
She's the coppers. I thought she said the coppers got there.
Oh, I thought recovered. Okay.
Let's see.
Did you ever rap on her vehicle with the fork?
No.
Did you ever point this tool at her at all, or use it in an aggressive manner towards her?
No, I never used it in an aggressive manner. I never even thought about it this whole time. I mean, I just, even until I walked away, until the cop recovered, I never even thought about it as a weapon.
Okay.
What did you do with it, if anything?
So
at
about 6 minutes into the video, right
sounded like it though.
around when my mother walked out. So from the beginning to 6 minutes, I couldn't move from behind the rear of the vehicle because I didn't want her to back up. My mother came out at 6 minutes. The Pitchfork at that point was leaning against her Honda, and you can see that in the video.
Against your mother's Honda?
Against the tailgate of my mother's Honda. And so then my mother was there. We talked briefly, and then my
Michael
mother
Dunlop
went
with
inside
two
to get my phone and the keys for the Honda.
2 big ones. Michael Dunlop.
He said no comment cash.
Thank you, Michael Dunlop. Way to get your name said, though, right? 5 big ones. Thank you.
So that was 3 minutes. So 9 minutes, I'm just standing behind her vehicle, trying to keep her from backing onto my property.
Now, during the video, it appears that there's a free open space in front of the petitioner. Is there any reason you can think of why she wouldn't just pull forward into a free space?
Because she wanted to.
Can I say the C
Correct
word?
me.
Okay. And at that point, she's backed over your cones?
Yeah, she backed right over the cone.
Okay.
Cone
And you can
lives
see that in
matter.
the video, in the photo.
And that's the first day after the petitioner had finally moved a vehicle that they'd parked on your property for 2 months?
Yes, when they were forced to move that other vehicle.
Turning to some of these other allegations, petitioner made an allegation that you said something about, her husband, said something negative about her husband. Have you ever insulted her husband or his work or anything like that?
No, I've never insulted either of them, even to my mother in person. I mean, in our private home. I respect military members, and I'm not going to say anything remotely similar to what she is stating.
Okay. And she mentions that apparently ever since she moved in, you've been stalking her. How many conversations have you had with the petitioner over the last 3 months?
I don't even, besides telling her not to park on my private property,
which I do daily.
I haven't had any
10 times a day
with her. And it's always when she's coming on my property to park her vehicle.
Ew.
And I walked by her house before the incident many times because I walk my dog by there all the time.
Could be.
And I never had conversations with her down there or anything.
Mom, is there any reason why? Oh, I mean,
did the police
Mommy,
arrest you during that incident?
No.
Have you ever stepped foot on the petitioner's property?
No,
Yeah.
no, never.
Okay.
I walk through the alley on the asphalt, and I walk on the sidewalk past her house in front when I'm walking dogs or going to the mailbox.
okay.
And I do drive by her house in my car because that's how I get to my garage.
Petitioner stated that you watch her on your porch in your petition, or in her petition. Is that true, or do you know what she might be referring to? Or?
No, unless she's, my mother sits back there all the time reading and listening to books.
Her mom can still read?
I rarely sit out there.
And listen to books. Okay.
That's double booking. Listening to books and reading books. At first I thought she said my mom sits back there breathing, but
better than breeding.
Again,
Mom's out back breeding again.
this, I think, as much as I hate to say it, this is all over parking spots.
Yeah. And what appears to be a
100%.
public parking spot in 99% of the country, just not here.
And she was telling her to pull to a different. I mean, this old lady does understand she can't tell this girl where to park. If she's illegally parked, then have the law come out and do something. But again,
And if I do, I'm reading the newspaper or something on my.
we know that's a lie.
phone.
Nobody reads newspaper anymore.
And I've
on her
never
phone.
sat out there on her porch, on my porch, waiting for her to come home. And
Have you ever yelled at her from your porch?
no, I've
Only to call her
probably
bitch.
stated that she couldn't park there. It's private property.
You
can't park there.
So anyway.
Oh, yeah. They had no intention of ever not
Listening to
parking
you.
there. And they, even if there's free space anywhere else, they always
They're
park on
obsessed
our
with this
property.
spot.
Sweet spot. It's the G
I think
spot.
that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Drury. Okay.
Tell your
And
mother.
the parties did submit a fairly substantial number of exhibits and supplementals, so I was able to see those and review those too. So they're
So
part
that's
of the
stuff we won't see,
record and
guys.
part of the basis for the decision in this case.
What's the decision going to be? Did they give it to Miss Jury? Miss Jury down the bottom? If so, hit the 1. They give it to Young Amish KCC up there. The flat-chested one. Hit the 2. I just don't think that this is going to carry any weight. I think he's going to have to like say, nah, man.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like anything a court should be addressing.
No, this seems like just pettiness. Just let them park there for God's sakes. Now, if they leave a car there for 2 months, sure, call the HOA. Otherwise, just let them park there. I mean, obviously, you don't have enough cars to fill up the area. Mom's Honda.
Yeah.
Brad comes and visits. He can park on the street.
We have some wise Alex in the chat, Mikey. They're not taking this poll seriously.
Wise Alex. I don't know a wise Alex among us.
3 and 4 weren't even options.
I think this. I'm guessing 3 is a push. 4, the place catches on fire, or she passes away before the verdict. I don't know. I just don't think there's enough here. We'll see though.
All right. Now it's always, I
It's
think,
gotta go
important to recognize that there's always at least 2 sides to everything. And when a case comes to court initially in an anti-harassment case, only one side is present, only one side is heard. And that can make a case look one way, but then, when we get to a hearing where the court has the opportunity to hear from both parties, then there's usually some further context and a fuller picture kind of emerges as to what the situation is and maybe what the intention of the parties is. And this is clearly one of those cases because, hearing this and reviewing, the petition at face value, I think it looks like a situation where somebody could feel threatened and could feel that, the actions taken by the other party are intended to harass them or scare them or harm them and kind of defy explanation in a way. I mean, that was my reaction to it when I read this. But of course, that's, as I said, one side of the story. Well, there's more to the story. Obviously, there's more context to the situation that the parties live in, and there's more explanation from the respondents.
Do you ever feel like some of these judges, I mean, this is completely off, some of these judges really milk the fact that they're on YouTube a little bit? Like they go the extra mile with explanations and setups and stuff.
I used to think that about Maribel a lot, that he was putting on a show. This judge, I think it's almost, he goes on to ease the pain of you're not getting what you want.
He's easing it in. Yeah. It's nice and slow.
Her position as to what these events looked like when they unfolded and what they meant, what her intentions were. So in this situation, although there appears to be a conflict between the parties, it doesn't appear to be a serious one. I mean, obviously the parking issue over, in that area that's depicted in the photographs looks a little tight and looks like it could cause some, frustrations if Ms. Drury feels that, Ms. Bajakian's parking on property that belongs to her. She can get frustrated about that. And she obviously was frustrated about that because she was out there trying to dig up old property markers to try to enhance her position and her communication.
I found a fossil, Your Honor, that
she's out there digging up old bones, trying to prove her case. This old lady ain't dug a hole and I don't know when. But man, here she is now.
I think so.
Very taint love.
That was her property and that she had the right to exclude others from parking there, which, if it is her property, she does have that right. So I think that and then also Ms. Drury's explanation in her testimony and in her declaration as to what the meaning was of the pitchfork or the spading fork and what she was doing with it alleviates, I guess, what would be my initial concerns, because she appears to have had that thing out in order to dig up those property markers and to explain, I guess, or to emphasize her position that the property belonged to her.
I believe this judge thinks that digging was a bit excessive.
Yeah, I think he thought maybe a little off. But again, I thought the street belonged to everybody. Why is it people go through my garbage and it's okay?
Well, you leave so much good stuff in there.
They always, I say, hey, what are you doing? They're like, it's on the street.
Mine now.
It was in her possession at the time she confronted Ms. Bajakian about her parking, but it doesn't appear to me that she intended to offer the use of the spading fork or pitchfork or whatever it is as a weapon or as in and of itself a way to intimidate Ms. Bajakian. Although it appears that it
could
had
be
an effect on her. I mean, I think her reaction to that in context was probably something a normal person would react to. And, it's not every day that somebody comes up to the side of your car and they have a pitchfork or a spading fork there. And clearly there was some anger expressed. Certainly could have been taken that way. But in my view here, in the context of all the evidence,
just tell him to get the fork out, Judge.
In the file, the exhibits, the photographs, the declarations, testimony of the parties here today, I'm not convinced that unlawful harassment has taken place. I think that
it's longer than the trial.
Initial appearances have been adequately addressed. I don't think that there's going to be any further problems here. I think the parties are
Jury, tell your mom
completely able to avoid any further confrontations or any other issues. And it seems to me that the parking issue is relatively easily sorted out with a clear understanding of where vehicles can be, especially if they encroach on somebody else's property.
Yeah, so, I just won the case for my mom.
I'm going to find that unlawful harassment has not taken place in the context overall. It certainly hasn't been proved by a preponderance of the evidence.
Yeah,
I hope that this means that
I don't think Miss Drury hired one. I think that's like a relative. I really do think these two are related. This is no joke.
She made him some cinnamon rolls. He's like, I got you, Mom. So KCC is the one that applied for the TPO.
She asked for it because she feared for her life because she came up to her. Maybe the lady could get scared real easy. Maybe she's been yelled at a few times. Maybe she had a mom that yelled at her a lot. She got scared, peed herself a little bit.
I mean, if that lady came out screaming at me, wielding a pitchfork, I'd be freaked out. Why is the crypt keeper mad at me?
And that hair, I mean, I'm not saying
that could be a wig.
Dyed.
That could be a wig.
But cinnamon roll. I love cinnamon rolls.
Panera has really good cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, do tell.
conflict is behind you and that there won't be any further need for either party to come to court.
Don't come back here now, you hear?
Now that we all understand what's really going on here.
I love Dumb and Dumber. So what you're saying is there's a chance, right? I think that's pretty much it, unless we're just going to look at his head.
I don't know. Is he going to kiss his mom goodbye?
I wish they would hug right now. Just like he turns and hugs her real close. She kisses him on the cheek. I feel bad that she's not going to get to park there anymore. Oh, look at these weirdos coming in. We know that they got their meth machine. I'm just a meth machine. I ain't going to love nobody but you. Look, she's already blowing her nose. Not surprising, but again, sometimes old people need to remember not to be so aggressive.
I still, I'm on KCC's side.
Sure you are.
I am.
Of course you are.
I'm right behind her.
I don't even know what she said, but I'm gonna assume it was something to the contrary of what I just said. But
Well,
that's just me.
not the real KCC, the KCC in the
the fake
Portland.
one.
Yeah.
The one with the
Fake CC.
weird shoulders. She's kind of boxy.
A little boxy, weird part, pretty well-defined part for sure.
I wonder if she was ever in the military, because that around here you see that a lot with the women in the military. They got their hair pulled like that for work.
Okay. Now, I wonder, ladies, when you pull your hair back real tight, do you tend to lose your hair? Because I feel like women that do that end up with like the really high forehead.
Receding hairline on a woman, not very flattering. Oh, of course. No problem. I even watched the sequel with when they were younger. And then I watched the Dumb and Dumber.
I've only seen the first.
Well, you've seen the best then.
Yeah.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of sticking with stuff, we're glad you guys stuck with us this far this week. Tomorrow's Friday. Creed will be back, which means I won't get to say Fork You Express, brought to you by Flusha, Tiny Piggy, Sweet Melissa, Billy, Paisley, and Mr. Michael Dunlap. Dumb and Dumber's the best one. Absolutely. Crass, Court's been great with you. We got one more show.
One more. And then I'll head off into the sunset. Iowa. But don't worry. Once I'm gone, you can still find me over on the Troyalty Pod channel. YouTube.com/@TroyaltyPod. Patreon.com/TroyaltyPod for early access and exclusive content.
Boom.
We give it to you, folks.
You guys been great. We love you. We'll be back again. Do us a big favor. Like the video.
Creed would like to place a bet on that, I'm sure.
Go ahead. Put some money on it. You guys do us a huge favor. Go back and watch some of the old episodes
of the Troyalty Podcast.
That too. Leave a comment if you haven't. Otherwise, we'll be back for Thursday. One mega big video we're going to watch.
Really?
With
one chase?
Well, it's going to be two. One's with a mom, and one's with a really thick lady.
One with a mom, one with a really thick lady. Not the same person, though.
Two different people.
Whoa. Double the ladies. Double the fun.
That's right. Double the fun, double the fun. Coming around here, you're going to get some. Stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned. Videos dropping all day. Only right here. Oh,
chat is fixed.
Shit, it is. I can see it now. It's up there. 130 people over there.
Some bitch.
Mother effing like button.
2 tons of fun. Is that us?
We're like the young bucks. We're the fat bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Big bucks.
Old fucks.
We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. Like to fire whoever was in charge of those comments.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, your friend is here. He's got a message for you.
Good afternoon. I'm District Judge Herman Marable from 67th District Court here in Flint.
Call him, but
Why'd he leave?
I don't know.